What if you found yourself trapped in a car for 16 hours? That could be torture, or it could be amazing. It really depends on what that car is. So, this episode is inspired by a Reddit post. This guy wants car recommendations under $35,000, and he has to do a 16-hour drive twice a month. Now, not only have we picked the 6 correct choices, we found them for sale on Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids, and we will predict how much these cars will close for. If that's not enough, we're going to pick which of these cars we'd want to be buried in. You better buckle up because the road trip starts now. Welcome to Bid Left Nut. I am your host, Stace Ghost. I'm joined once again by Evan from Street Park Everything. Evan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
It's good seeing you. So, as usual, we are going to do auction analysis, fantasy predictions on cars that we would love to own if only we had enough room for them. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Absolutely.
If you're new here, we call the show Bid Left Nut because we want to know, what would you bid your left nut for? You're welcome to play along at home. Drop your predictions into the comments just to see how close you got to these cars. And I bet you'll probably beat Evan, but you'll never beat me on these predictions. Evan, all right, so you shared this post with me earlier in the week, and you want to tell us a little bit about it? Like, what drew you to it?
Yeah, so just on Reddit, and this one popped up. It was someone basically looking for a fun car to enjoy as a secondary vehicle for under $35,000, and they have to do 2 monthly 16-hour drives.
Do you think the guy's a drug mule?
He might be.
I didn't quite know what he meant by cruise around Daytona. So did he mean the track, or did he just mean cruise the strip in Daytona, Florida, or Daytona, Ohio?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's around Daytona, Florida. So he's looking for like a weekend car and then also take on these longer drives.
Now, we know that there are a lot of bad options that people have suggested in that post.
Yeah.
Even Uncle Lefty thinks that there are some really dumb choices in there. So let me ask you, Evan, is Miata the answer in this situation?
16-hour drive in a Miata doesn't sound very fun, especially doing it twice a month.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had all those variables, and that was one of the big ones, the comfort of a 16-hour drive.
Yeah.
All right, what about a Mustang? Why not just get a Mustang?
Yeah, again, similar thing. I mean, I'm probably great around Daytona, but again, 16-hour drives.
Some people suggested Camaro. Good
Yeah,
idea.
They're great highway cruisers, but you'll see in our picks, there's definitely better options out there than these two.
Evan, not only are there better picks, there are the right picks.
Oh, of course.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, why not just go for something simple like America's favorite car, the Toyota Camry?
Just not fun. This would be great for 16-hour drives, but it's not going to be fun.
The cars that you and I picked, coincidentally, all 6 of them are Euro cars. Now, you and I
Yeah.
didn't talk about that. We just said we're each going to pick 3 cars. And so we picked cars that are for sale right now. We picked an Audi S4. We picked a Volvo V70R. We picked this beast of a car, this SL600. We picked this AMG, which I know you're a fan of this car, and you're going to tell us all about that. We also picked this 540. Hang on to see the 540 because Evan is essentially a 540 expert, and he has some insights that will surprise you. The last car was a 330 Sport. I know my reasons. Why did you go down that path?
All of these cars are comfortable in that 65 to 100 mile per hour range, even though you're probably not doing that for all 16 hours. But whether you're
Right.
driving at 95, you're in bumper to bumper traffic, all of these cars are comfortable to be in. Leg room, luxurious, all of the creature comforts.
That's what I was thinking too, is that these cars are built for long distance travel, right?
Yeah.
And so for 10 years owned an Audi, same body style, B5, and I love taking that car on road trips. It was very comfortable, but also these cars are durable. They're
Yeah.
built with a little bit more sustenance than some lighter weight cars. Let me ask you, are these reliable?
They can be. It depends which one of the pick. I don't know if the S4 fits into that, but the E63 and the 540 definitely do, and the Volvo certainly is.
You watch your mouth about that, the S4. We're going to get to that. But so these cars, I would say, you being an owner of a 540,
Yep.
are they cheap to maintain?
If it's not in the shop, it's cheap to maintain.
Once you've got these cars in great shape, though, they are durable. And durable
Yeah.
is different than reliable. I've had a lot of reliable cars where the car would run forever, but everything around the engine would fall apart. It's also curious that you and I both picked cars from the 2000s. The range was something like, what did you say, 2001 to
2008. Yeah, the
Yeah.
SL. So all early 2000s. I also think, to your comment about reliability, these are all substantial size still comparing to modern vehicles, but they have good road presence. And if you're on the highway, they can just sit comfortably and cruise. It doesn't have the fragile feel of a Japanese car way a Camry would.
Right. At 80 miles an hour, they're quiet. Hang on to the end because we're going to make predictions on all these cars and you're going to see where we think they will close. Our shopper has a budget of $35,000. We know that all of these cars are going to sell for way less than that. That leaves you a lot of room for preventative maintenance, for a premium AAA membership,
Oh yeah.
the occasional airfare from wherever you find
Yeah,
yourself
right.
back home.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hey, here's something else. Of the 6 cars that we found, only 2 of them are appreciating in value. This Audi S4 and the Volvo V70R. And we're going to lead off with those 2 cars.
Sure.
Everything else is depreciating still.
Good time to buy.
The first car we're going to look at is this Audi S4. And Evan has already tipped his hand that he's not a fan of this car. And I am a huge fan of this car. I'm enough of a fan for 2 of us. Evan, tell me briefly why you don't like this car. And first of all, your opinion is going to be wrong.
All right. Well, I'll start off and say that I think it's a great looking car, and I'm sure they're a ton of fun to drive. I just don't think it fits the use case that this guy's looking for, simply from the fact that you're doing long drives, it's has reliability issues, parts are getting hard to find, and maintenance is extremely expensive. So it'll be fun for the first hour or two out of the 16, but then you're going to be Ubering the remaining 14 to get to your destination.
I'll tell you this. Wait, so a couple of Achilles heels. This car is more than 2 Achilles heels. This car especially has
Yeah.
a couple of things in it. So this car, if eventually you will need to swap the turbos, and to swap the turbos, the engine either has to come out or you have to drop the front subframe.
Right. Sounds very easy.
Oh yeah, you could do this in your driveway.
My
for,
apartment.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else that these cars suffer from are the valve chain guides. They're made of plastic, but when they wear, this thing sounds like the saddest diesel you've ever heard. This car's a little rough.
Yeah.
But let's wait.
Yeah.
Missing a center cap there. Let's talk about some of the positives of this though.
Okay.
These cars are comfortable, right? You said they're good looking.
Yep.
Can you say anything else good about this car? Not this beat interior.
I think the interior is very period correct. Audi did a very good job with the interior on this car in general. I don't love the seat color. I mean, again, this is me trying to pick the car for myself to do this drive. You got some maybe water damage on the last pick on the rear C-pillars there. I'm not really sure. Some pixels missing. I just don't know if this. If you had a pristine S4, it'd be great for this drive. I don't know if this one is the one.
Okay. Well, this one's going to come in way under that guy's budget. When we make predictions in a second, you're going to see. But you mentioned the marks on the C-pillar, and we're going to get back to that in a second.
Marks on the seat.
Yeah. Marks on the seat, yeah. And there's some marks on the interior door handle, which we'll get to in a second. But this, I still have my first aid kit from the car. I kept it before I sold it.
That's great. That's great. I still have one from a 2001 Passat. So that's not far off from this car in terms of interior design.
Right. The interior's beat on this. Like, I mean, so this has 134,000 miles. This is rough inside. I mean, the leather has been chewed up and spit out.
Audi shifter though for the automatics back in that period, same as the Passat.
Yeah, I loved the interior of this car when I had it. It was very substantial, and I was coming out of at the time a Nissan pickup, so a huge change, right?
Yeah.
But the car just felt quality, soft touch surfaces. The leather was good, but this
there's your water damage.
Yeah, do you think that's coming in from the back window or side window
or sunroof? Maybe I don't really know.
Oh.
If you're going to list the car for sale and this was something you could repair quickly and cheaply, it would have been done, right? So that's
right. The guy didn't even clean the floor mats.
No, this is not the best. Hey, that can go towards the first maintenance. That penny right there.
That's right.
This is a good example of what not to do in terms of taking pictures.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I'm focusing on the interior here with a kicked-in door speaker grill is that the guy talks about comfort. So I want to make sure that we're focusing on the interiors of these cars. Who was trying to escape from this car? Like, what was going on?
It's like Wolverine trying to get out.
Yeah.
A little kidnapping maybe in the car's past.
Yeah. The back seat. So speaking of kidnapping, let's take a look at the trunk. Oh no, wait. What is the spare part that we have?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I have no idea what that is. Stace, so you've owned one of these. Is this a factory color? It has to be.
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nagaro blue.
Gotcha.
It was the launch color.
I almost don't recognize it.
Yeah, it was one of the more popular colors, and you can get an interior that it was silver and with blue, the same color blue Alcantara. The seats.
Gotcha.
It was kind of wild looking.
This is not doing that color any favors though. This example of this car, no.
Nope. Well, he's had some work done to it. He did some maintenance to it.
This is the prospective buyers looking into their future by just reading this. It's like studying for the test. They got all the answers.
What will I have to replace
Yes.
again?
The mirror,
Again.
a new mirror.
Yeah.
That's a new seatbelt. That's always good.
Yeah. Oh, he did the cam chain tensioners. Okay, so it's not going to sound like a sad diesel.
And I can only say so
Transmission.
much. I'm not even going to touch on the timing chain guides because when we get to the 540, that's a big problem there too. So just going to skip over that.
Yeah, it must have been something in the early 2000s where those guides were made poorly in Germany across the board.
Yeah, just
All right.
huge beefy engines and plastic guides, which doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So Carfax, this car, let's see, did it have it? Oh, it had a minor accident.
Somebody's gonna get a steal when this thing goes for $4,000, but our guy
Oh,
should not spend that on it. Is
yeah.
that his remaining 31 grand will be gone by May.
All right, so our first prediction is going to be on the Audi S4. So we look at a lot of data to pull these numbers together. So we look at Haggerty, we look at Bring a Trailer, we also look at Classic.com. Classic.com has these nice charts, and they tell us whether the market average is moving up or down. Believe it or not, Evan, the Audi S4 of this generation, the B5, is moving up. So even though I couldn't find a chart for our automatic, this is for a manual. The average price of a B5 S4 is $14,000, and it's up year on year. So we're going to take a look at this car. We're going to make some predictions. 2001, just to remind everybody what we're talking about. 2001 Audi S4 Auto, 132,000 miles. Do you know how much I said it was going to come in at?
No, tell me.
$8,200. You actually came in above me on this, right?
Yeah. No, I'm being silent because I know that I'm going to be judged for this. I don't think this is a good pick, but I do think the car could get the money.
Yeah. Well, looking at the interior a second time, I'm not sure. I think I'm probably going to be a little closer to this than you are. These cars could get the money in a
Yeah.
nice spec, a clean example, one that hasn't been modified, one that doesn't have a lot of stories or drama to it, could get up to $15,000, $20,000. This
Yeah.
one is not. The photos are not helping any.
No, no.
All right. All right. So that's this one. We're going to see who came closer. And again, viewers out there, drop your predictions into the comments below. All right. Let's move on.
Let's go to the opposite of reliability. Let's go to the Volvo.
Whoa. Hey, if you're liking this content, give us a thumbs up and we'll keep making more of it. All right.
The Volvo's it's a 6-speed.
I love it. Next up, we have this 2005 Volvo V70R.
Yep.
It ends tomorrow on Bring a Trailer. It's got 184,000 miles. Initial take on
It
this.
looks great. What do you think of the design of these? Do you like this car? You picked it, but obviously, do you like it yourself?
I love it. I've always wanted one of these. And depending on what happens tomorrow, I'm going to look at this auction. I may buy this. And it's not far. It's in Connecticut. It's not far from us here. If you're liking this Volvo, wait till you see what's coming up next.
Yeah, go get it. Do you know what the bidding's at? It was like 8 or so, 10 maybe.
It was under that. There's no reserve on this. This one in particular has a ton of service records with it. It looks really clean despite growing up here in the Northeast. Minimal corrosion, but it does have the all-wheel drive. We don't know where our Reddit poster is driving from, but all-wheel drive, helpful, right?
Yeah.
This is the only car in our group that's a wagon. So there's extra practicality there, massive cargo area. When this thing breaks down, you can sleep in it, right?
Sure. You know, we shouldn't be factoring that in, but if that's a key point for this, then absolutely. Fold the seats down. This is probably the least likely to break down on this drive, though, out of the 6 that we've picked. So
yeah, you're probably right. Especially this one. This thing has those legendary Volvo seats built for those 16-hour drives. It's got that characteristic 5-cylinder sound. I love these. I love everything about these. I love the way they look. I love the way they drive. I love the way they sound.
Yeah, it's a great car.
Yeah, and these are tunable to a degree, right? So people are getting decent amounts of power. I know we don't want to trade away our reliability, but people are getting some good power out of these cars, even all these years later.
Yeah, I think the main thing for me is, and obviously you picked this one, but we had the overlap of Euro cars. This didn't even occur to me. I think the thing that I think about is like, what's a significant car that I'm going to feel special driving for my 16-hour drive and be very comfortable in? And this might sound contradictory. I love the way these look, but they've never appealed to me or popped in my mind as like something to buy or own myself. It kind of falls in like the Focus RS camp, like fun car, but just not my cup of tea.
It's not the Wagon stigma, is it? 'Cause I know
No, no.
I don't know where you fall on that. Okay.
I love a
Um,
Wagon, but not I don't love this one. I like it, but
this car, reading through some of the comments, it has some electrical issues, like the alarm and the radio don't work properly, and it had a pretty big accident. We'll look at the Carfax in a minute.
Stace,
It
I
got
hate to
some
be that guy, but a 16-hour drive and the radio has problems. Accident aside, because someone's getting a deal if everything was repaired, but you can't be going 16 hours with no radio. 16 hours
but
twice with no radio.
Evan, all of these cars are gonna have some kind of problem,
That
and car guys are willing to deal with it.
that's a problem
I
you
was
can't
I
have for 16 hours. I
But that's why you're going to put in a CarPlay replacement. I mean,
yeah,
it you can fix that. You can fix that
sure,
easily.
sure. You hope it's
But
you hope it's the head unit, not the wiring, because then it's a whole
yeah, we got some wiring issues
yeah,
there.
looks like a baseball mitt, like catcher's mitt.
Yeah, it does. So these seats look a little rough, but
Yeah,
you could get these re-dyed if you
absolutely.
really wanted to. For another, if he bought this for, let's say, for 10, put another 10 in it, he's in for 20. He could make this a really great car.
Are these
It's
$20,000 car though in great condition?
no, I
Even
don't
this
think
has an
so.
accident. This is not the car to put 10 grand to make a work into. Put in the S4. That's at least unique compared to this.
Why? No, this is actually more unique, I think.
Is it?
Finding this, yeah, I think these were there were only a handful of these made, like not by a handful. I think like under 10,000. I think of these.
That sounds like potential repair nightmare when you can't find parts. I hate to
Well,
say it. I think you might be 0 for 2 on your picks here.
we're gonna find out at the end. So there are some known issues with these cars. The angle
Okay.
gear failure is an issue. The active suspension, that's an issue, and you can see the three buttons there.
Mm.
If you want like sport, comfort, normal, whatever. So that could be pricey if it gives you grief. But what about the dash of this car? Is it period correct or what?
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfect. I mean, as long as the radio works, and I love the coloring on the dials here on the gauges.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah. So this car, like I said, so that though the active chassis suspension, that could be an issue if it starts to act up. Parts availability for these cars is getting more difficult to find. I love the manual. I've never liked the look of the shifter though.
The
If it were
Uniball,
leather,
whatever it's called.
yeah, Uniball.
Yeah. It's kind of a gimmicky thing. I think that also adds to my lack of interest in these types of cars.
Yeah.
Again, I like a wagon, but this one just doesn't really do it. And honestly, a couple years ago when I was looking for a winter car, the V70 was one that came up, not the R, because I just wanted something I could beat up.
As you
Yeah,
do with cars, yeah.
especially in the winter. But yeah, I don't know. Something about this doesn't really appeal to me, and so
Mhm.
I'm Shark
Well,
Tank. I'm out.
yeah, you didn't pick this one clearly, but we will get to the cars that you picked, and so I'm going to throw shade at the cars you picked, just
Perfect.
just like you do in my cars here.
A lot
All
of
right,
service
let's see.
records there. So
Tons of service records. This car, 184,000 miles, but somebody has loved this car and done a lot of maintenance to it. So I think this car will go far, further than the 16 hours.
you gotta hope.
Gotta hope. So you want to see how much a Volvo V70R is worth?
Absolutely. I have
Okay.
no idea where the market is on these.
Yes, you do. It's sitting right in front of you here.
Well, I'm looking at this now for the first time. I took my guess blind.
Well, classic.com says that the average is 19,700, and it's climbing. Right here, right below it, it says 27.5. I don't know where that number is coming from, because that is not an average price for these.
No.
So they must have had, just in the past year, the 8 that they had must have been really nice examples. But we're going to take a look and see, how much do you think this 2005 Volvo 6-speed is? It's got a lot of miles on it. So
Yeah.
that's why I came in lower than the average by a little bit. I'm at 15.5 on this car. I can't remember. You came in at,
Way low. 9,250.
wow. Okay.
But
That
take
is,
into account very high miles. So while you're under
yes,
the average, I think a lot
yes.
of people might be hesitant to bid just because of that, knowing that
You're
maintenance is
stupid
expensive.
low on this, man.
Yeah, but
Come on.
also maintenance is expensive. If you're looking for one of these and this was your desired car, whether it was for 16 hours or you just loved Volvos, would you spring on this one because it's pretty nice other than the miles and the damage, right? Because this had a front. I feel like every car
Yep.
we talked about today had a front collision.
This one got smacked in the ass, I think. I think this
Okay.
had rear damage.
Okay. If this was your money and that's your bid at 15 grand, would you spring for this for 15? assuming you're right? Or would you wait and spend 18 to 20 on one that's really good, maybe 130,000 miles, no damage?
Yeah, these I guess if you really want one, you have to strike while the iron is hot. They're not as common as you'd think. And even with 184,000 miles, I don't think this car is done. I mean, we can see
No.
that like it's got some life left in it. Evan, here's the thing. There's one for sale, and in the past year, there've only been 8 for sale. Now, classic.com collects prices from around the globe. So I'm sure somewhere there might be the other cars for sale, but right now there's just one for sale. That's why I believe this car is worth what it's worth. They're not common and they're not for sale. People who like these are hanging on to them. That's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely. I'm aggressively low compared to where the average is, but
Yes.
I also I'd be very surprised where this ends.
Okay, well, you're not going to be surprised because we're actually going to see it.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Let's move on. Let's see your next hot take. All right. So this car, look at this. No reserve. Who is the brave person who's selling this no reserve?
They know what's gonna happen. It's 112,000 miles. It's a SL 600, so you're gonna have more problems than the 500, and it's gonna
Yeah.
sell for
Whoa!
ready to
Don't give
go.
away your prediction. We're
Okay,
gonna get to
okay.
that. This car also has an accident, but just minor damage.
Sure.
But these are handsome looking cars, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why did you
This is
pick
the
it?
clear winner, right? No mention in the drive of having to bring passengers anywhere. It's a
Right.
two-door V12 Mercedes. It's had an accident. Seems that everything's been fixed properly. If it's all the way up to 113,000 miles after it, you're going to get a
Mhm.
deal. You're going to get a car you can just put miles on, driving straight. You got a Lotus Emira in the background driving up Angeles Crest. And
Yeah.
this is the perfect car. You can put the top down if you want. You can put the top on.
Right.
You're not going to notice noise or anything from the air because it's a hard top. This is your
Right.
16-hour high
Yeah.
legroom space.
500 pound-feet of effortless torque.
Yeah. Yeah. Just put the foot down and go.
The passing power on the highway, though, this thing must be absurd, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like somebody's in your way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna just tell you some things that I don't care for about this car.
Sure. Let me have it. Let's hear the disputes here.
All right. So this has high miles for such a special angel. I mean, these cars, I mean, so of SL 500, maybe. This is a 600. Somebody has really put miles on this car. So it, I worry about that V12 machinery, because there are 50% more moving parts on a V12 than a V8.
No, you're not wrong.
Something else I think is the suspension on these. When those fail, you better push the car off a cliff. Same with the engine. I mean, if there's something bad happens to the engine, take the plate off and leave it somewhere. I don't know.
Hey, the thing is though, this car is going to go for, I don't know, much cheaper than 35,000. You got plenty of room to work with.
And so something else that we didn't really mention is that the cars that we picked in their day were premium cars. So you are
Right.
getting something that is substantial. Like this car, especially. I think you're right when you say this car might be the smartest choice, even though there's no back seat, even though it drinks premium fuel like water. This might be the right choice just because this car, when it was new, was just so expensive and there was so much quality built into it
Yeah.
that you're going to feel that quality even today.
It's like your Nissan pickup to S4 comment, except
Yeah.
this is what you get after the S4.
Complexity, though. Let's talk about complexity. You've owned
Yeah.
a ton of German cars. German engineering at its most is like it's ambitious, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's nowhere near perfection.
Yeah, this is going to have those issues. And that's along the same lines of your comments about being the V12, not the V8, the suspension, being the premier
I don't
product
know
that
if
was
this has
offered at the
massaging
time.
seats, but that
It's a
shit's
great
gonna
car,
break
but
right off the
anytime
top.
something goes wrong, the maintenance stays the same cost,
All
even
right.
though this car is
Do we
now
have any more to say
sub
about
20
this
grand.
vehicle?
The maintenance is still what it would cost for a $100,000 car, whatever this was new. Definitely up there.
Right. And I think being a 600, I don't know if parts availability is going to be all that easy. I don't know what else this engine went in 2007.
Definitely
Yeah.
harder to find parts for this than if it was the 500.
Right. It will make you question your sanity if something explodes here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Very little action on this car. Oh, well, there's still 5 days left, right?
Yeah.
So $1,500. It had this minor incident. What was it? Minor front and rear. So maybe somebody was in stop and go traffic and they got bumped.
Yeah. Does
But
it say when that accident was?
it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, okay,
So
perfect. That's fine.
yeah. All right. You want to make a prediction on this bad boy?
Yeah, the 600.
All right. These prices make me sad. I think this is a car that has so much potential, but if we look at the classic.com average price, they're saying this thing comes in at 25.5 and it's down. It's down for the year, but 25.5, man, this
Yeah.
is not great. 25 sold in the past year. That's a substantial amount. So I mean,
Yeah.
these trade hands pretty regularly. So it has 112,000 miles on it. So
Yeah.
I believe this guy is coming in at 13,000. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'm crazy for saying that. This is such a monumental car. Like when these came out, and we talked about like a twin turbo V12. I
Yeah.
mean, this was like the thing of like gods.
Yeah.
But
It's exactly
here I
what
am
you'd
saying,
want.
yeah. But I'm embarrassed to say 13,000 is all I think this is going to get. What did you say?
13 and a half. I think 13,450.
Yeah,
So
we're
again,
we're in
we're
the same
right
spot.
there.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, but it's the miles that are going to hold this back. And I think the miles, when you compound that with the fear of how quickly this thing turns from a car into a boat anchor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for bringing it to the show, though. I mean,
Of
I'm
course.
happy that we had
It's a
this
great
as an
looking
option.
SL. I think that's one of the best designs.
Yeah. I know one for a fact though that you don't like these in anything but black, right?
The silver, looking at the silver going through these picks is not that bad, but my pick would be black. Yeah. I think the silver
Yes,
just
I
looks too
agree.
generic.
Yeah. I think the black looks better. The silver does look generic, but I think the black looks better because the hard top, when it's up, you don't see all those lines and
Yeah.
pieces of gasket.
Hmm.
So next we have our AMG.
If someone came to me tomorrow and said, Evan, we're going to pay you 50%, 100% of your salary, but you got to commute two 16-hour trips a month, this is the car I'm getting. This is
Okay.
the car.
Well,
We've got 2 days left.
no,
It's at 9,000 and change.
let's look at this car. It's on
Sure.
Cars and Bids. 94,000 miles. Doug gives us his take.
You got 6,000 miles
Five.
to work with before you have a big service you have to worry about. Perfect. Just
All
enough
right.
wiggle room to make it work.
Right. You know what I like most about this car?
I think I do, but you're going to tell me because I have my own answer to this.
500 horsepower.
I'm going to add to that. To the
Hmm.
average person, it's just a silver Mercedes sedan. Nobody has
Yeah.
a clue. All of the Volvo kind of falls into that category too. You don't know it's the R. Most people won't know it's the R. The
Right.
S4 a little bit unless you see the S, but the
It's
SL,
bright blue.
yeah, bright blue. The Volvo's red, and it's not like a maroon, it's like a bright red. The
Right.
SL looks a little bit more sleek than this, being a coupe and not a sedan. This kind of just
Mhm.
fits in, and I like that a
Right.
lot for this use case here.
The previous owner or the current owner of this car put in $14,000 of repairs during his ownership. So he loves this car as much as you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a very, very clean car. And you said it like it really is sleeper mode, but until you hear this thing, these
Mm.
things sound incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that this is great for cruising around Daytona as the Reddit post suggested and mentioned. It's
Yeah,
great for the highway drives. It's going to be fun on the weekend if you want that. If you want to take it
right.
to the grocery store on, Thursday afternoon after work, it's no big deal. You can do it.
It
It's
has a
also
real spunk.
it's also one of those cars if someone dings it with the grocery cart or something in a parking lot, it's not the end of the world. I think that's
Mhm.
nice about the sleeper aspect of it. It's special being the E63, but it's also not a $50,000 car either.
I've never driven one of these. I like
Mm.
obviously I've heard them. I love the way they sound. So in my mind, this thing destroys highway stretches.
Yeah.
But what happens on an on-ramp? I mean, do these cars behave in corners? Can you toss them around, or is it just like is it asking too much from this car?
I think it's planted. I don't know how much you can toss it around, at least in the terms of like breaking it loose in a turn or trying to, drift through a roundabout. But you can definitely get on it into the turns. I would put it in the same category as the 540 in that regard.
Okay. Well, you've enjoyed that 540 many times for a
Yes,
lot of years, right? How long did you have that?
2 years, 2 years, I think.
Mhm. What did it cost you while you owned it?
I want to say it was around 4 or 5. But one of the main things was I needed new tires for winters and summers. So
There are some weaknesses on these cars. There's the head bolt issue that's well documented. It has not been done on this car. We'll see that in a minute. I think I have a photo, or maybe it's in the comments. Somebody said that cam follower. That's a weak point that these cars have. And again, Mercedes air suspension. It ages very poorly. You're gonna have to fix that eventually, or else the car is just gonna be like sagging, sitting low in a parking lot, and you're going to need to like inflate that air suspension
yeah,
just to get the car moving again. with that big thirsty V8, fuel economy is really just a suggestion. It's not
Yeah.
it's not a promise, but it's a comfortable
You're
car. The
hoping
radio's
it's
gonna
more than 15, but it's probably not. And you just got to live with it.
correct. That's something, that you and I didn't really consider, or I didn't consider at all when somebody's making a 16-hour drive. I didn't even think about fuel economy because that was not in that Reddit post. It was
Yeah.
not one of the criteria.
It's also highway miles. So, it's going to be
Okay.
bad with these cars, but you're not in the city, right? You're getting the best of the worst miles per gallon that these cars can offer.
Okay, that's car guy math. I
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. Oh, handcrafted. Florian,
Spec-
one man, one car, something
yeah.
like that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We can adopt it for the show. It's fine.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Whatever your pronouns are. One person, one car. It's clean. It's clean underneath. It's lived a decent life. It has not lived here in Massachusetts where we have enough salt on the roads to choke a horse.
Yeah.
Got some
Oh yeah.
tires.
But also, I mean, I'd be curious to see how. I didn't read through the paperwork here, but
Of
Alpharetta,
course, of
Georgia,
course you didn't. Of course you didn't,
California.
Evan. You just picked the car because you like the way it looked. You don't care
Yeah.
about the practicality.
No, I picked it because it's practical and I like the way it looks. I don't care what the
Okay.
previous work done was. I know that there was work, and that's enough.
Wow. I will never let you buy a used car for me. If that you have to look at the
You've
this is
got
the
you've most likely got 20 grand to work with by the time this thing sells and you got 35 grand total. It's not really an issue. You could buy 3 of these and you just have a bunch of donor cars in the parking lot.
oh yeah. Well, okay. Well, it's currently at $9,100, so he has 25 grand to play with at the moment.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, here's a question. What's up with the oil light flashing?
That's just German engineering. That's that one
Yeah.
comment that applies to all of the cars we've picked.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the truth is that it just means that the oil wasn't warmed up
You
yet.
just unplug the fuse for the light, then you won't even know. It's gonna leak
That's right.
regardless. You don't want the light in your face telling you that it's leaking all the time.
Yeah. Now it's time for us to make a prediction on this beast of a car with that beautiful V8. So this is the E63 AMG. All right. Classic.com says a significant car like this is only worth $20,000.
That's why it's
There were
perfect for this use case.
it is absolutely perfect. It might be the winner. So
Yeah.
I know the guy from Reddit is not looking he's not watching this show, but if he were, this might be the right car for him. So there were 18 for sale this year. We've got some data on that. It's got 94,000 miles. So I mean that's like, wait, is this car just getting broken in or is it just gonna break your wallet? I'm not
It's
sure
I think it's the
exactly.
lowest or it's second lowest out of the bunch. Third lowest, sorry. The 330 is 50 something. The 540
Okay.
is 70, and then this is 94.
Okay. So I came in at 14.5, under the average by a significant margin because of the mileage. I have a feeling I'm going to be wrong on this now that I look at the car again. And where did you come in? You came in
14
at
14.9.
you were just a tick above me. So like maybe we're both really wrong on this one.
I think what is likely gonna happen is it's gonna sell for looking at it
14.
again and looking at the classic car charting, it's gonna sell for 18 and a half, and I'm still gonna win because 'cause I'm above, but
Oh,
we're both drastically wrong, I think. I think
yeah.
I think we were selling it short for what it is, and I wasn't I looked at some recent auctions, but I didn't look at the chart for the past year.
So if you look at recent auctions, that's what I did too.
Mm,
That's why we're coming in at these prices here.
yeah.
So we'll see. It all comes out in the wash or in the auction.
If this car actually goes for 14 and a half, I'm gonna be kind of annoyed that I didn't spring for it.
All right, so we're moving on to the 540 Sport. So this is a car that Evan has a lot of history with, not this car in particular, but let's just give us some numbers here. It's on Cars and Bids. It's 72,000 miles. E39 is peak 5 series. Ask anyone, they know this. This has a 4.4 liter V8, silky smooth, effortless power, sport package. Your car was a sport, right?
Yep. Yep.
Well, as we look at some photos of this pristine car or somewhat pristine car, tell us about the ship box you owned.
Mine wasn't. It wasn't perfect like it wasn't as nice as this, but it was a great car. It it has the timing chain guide issues across all of these, like the S4 that we mentioned, so potential catastrophic engine work needed. I had mine with 100,000 miles to 110,000 miles more than this, and it was great. Power delivery is great. The manual's great. Having the V8 up front was awesome. It can be expensive to own, and that was partially why I sold it, was just getting up there and needing maintenance for the timing chain guides, the valve cover gaskets, rear main seal, lower oil pan leak, a lot of oil leak issues with this car in general. But as a highway cruiser, it's fantastic. The passing ability, like you mentioned on the SL600 and the E63, is fantastic.
Mhm.
This is the only V8 in the list that has a 6-speed with it as well.
Oh,
It's one of the few out there for that big sedan to have that. So it's a great offering for that.
right. So let me ask you this. So you own this car for a while, and I asked you about the E63, and you said it'd be planted, but you don't know necessarily how well it's balanced. This car, balanced chassis, right?
Yeah, yeah, very planted. Never really any concern of, losing traction or what have you. One of the things I ended up doing during my ownership was new tires, and that definitely helped a lot with that. You can thank the potholes in Boston for forcing me to get new tires. So, but yeah, it's a fantastic car.
I got to tell you, I would not mind being trapped in this cabin for 16 hours at a stretch.
No, no, not at
It
all.
looks it looks fantastic. I mean, like even from the outside, these cars look so good. I mean, in your mind, have they aged good or poorly?
They've aged great. Again, if mine didn't need so much work in the engine bay and a little bit of rust on the rocker panels on the passenger side when I owned it, it was a daily driver all year round. I would definitely own another one. I think the problem with this car is being up in the Northeast, you have, if you're fortunate enough, you have one fun car and one winter car that's sort of just a sacrifice to the weather. And for my one fun car, it wouldn't be this. It would be a 911 or a Cayman or a M3 or something that's really fits that sport vibe. This is a great winter vehicle if you have snow tires on it. It is rear-wheel drive, but again, I wouldn't want to sacrifice this car again, right? So if
Right.
a third garage spot opened up, this would be a great car.
Yeah. Before we get to the cons on this car, I just want to remind people, hang on to the end because we will tell you which of these cars are our favorites, which of these cars we do not like, and which of these cars are so good that we'd want to be buried in them. So this car had some front end damage in
Mm.
2003, and that was a long time ago, but it's just something that you should probably be aware of going in if you're buying this thing. It's being sold by a dealer who's taken some really crappy photos. Like
Yeah,
here we've got gravel in the background,
just
a
out
little bit
back
of
of the
growth.
shop, like it's
Yeah.
it's much like the God, what was it? It was the SL AMG that we looked at a few weeks ago, the gray one that was just taken
Oh,
out
yeah.
down by the dock in Jersey.
Yep. Yep. Hey, on your car, did you have to do the timing chain guides? Did they
No, I
wear on
sold it
your car?
before that was a problem for me. But
How much does that cost if you need to do it?
the mine needed timing chain guides and valve cover gaskets and a rear seal. And I think the total quote for everything was like 11-ish grand, somewhere in that
Whoa.
neighborhood. You
Wow.
could do each of those things individually and save money. Oh, we'll do timing chain guides and it'll be a fraction of that. But if you once you start taking stuff apart, you might as well do it all. And for a car that, I mean, this one's going to go for more than this, but for a car that I sold for 4 or 5 grand, it didn't make sense to put just
Right.
round 10 grand into it when it's still going to be worth it. These cars actually, they do go for more when you've had all the work done, but it's not a direct correlation to the amount spent. So if you spend 5 on the car and you spent 10 to get all that stuff fixed, you can
Yeah.
probably get 10 or so, but you're not getting 15 for it, right? You're not going to come out with all of that immediately back unless it's in great condition, and mine was not. So there you go.
So these cars do have a reputation for having electrical gremlins. Did you have issues like that, or are you going to lie to us and say that your car didn't have that problem?
No, I'm going to be truthful and say that mine didn't have that problem. The stereo in this car is fantastic. The speakers were great. I mean, just a great car.
We're going to make some fantasy predictions right now, and we want you to make fantasy predictions as well. Drop them in the comments. Tell us what you think this 540 Sport is going to go for. Classic.com says the prices are dropping on these, so maybe there'll be another one in your future. 13 and a half is where this thing is at the moment. Tons of them for sale. Excuse me. Tons of them closed this year. More than 50 of them closed. 4 for sale right now if you want to buy one. It's got low-ish miles, 72,000, right?
For
I
this
mean,
car from '01, yeah.
yeah. And I thought this was coming in at 15.3.
Yeah.
You argue with me? What do you think?
I had it 13.6.
Yikes.
I do think it's
Okay.
low just because looking through the pictures, the exterior is not perfect. There's some dings and scratches, what you would expect on a car from 2001. The miles are really low, so that's where a lot of the value is here. But yeah, I don't see it going over 14
Yeah.
maybe, but
Well, you are a former owner and you're in touch with this market, so maybe you are on the right track.
we'll find out.
All right, buddy, we're down to our final car 2002 BMW 330 Ci convertible with a 5-speed. It didn't get the 6-speed. It only got the 5-speed. What do you think about an E46?
I love it. I don't know if this is the highway cruiser that I would want, only because you're with the 5 speed, so you're gonna be high RPMs for most of the drive if you're in that, 80 plus mile per hour range, which
Yeah.
again, you won't be an issue for my SL600 or E63. I do think these look great. It's a timeless design. Everyone thinks this is peak BMW. I mean,
Yeah.
anything
I
after
agree.
this was sort of the downfall. I mean, the E92 M series cars are great, and the one generation ago M2 from like
Mhm.
2018, 19, that's a great car too. When you think of a BMW, you think of this car.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Don't count me out. I'm in there too, thinking that this is peak BMW. Even I would actually I like this car a little bit more than my E36
Mhm,
M3. Yeah, but oh well. What are you gonna do? So this one is a convertible for the good days. You got your top down therapy when you are on the road. Put the top up. The top is insulated. It does have still some more road noise than the other cars,
mhm.
but this one is really an accessible entry point. This is not going to cost a ton of money. It's not going to need as much work as the S4. So I put this car and the S4 sort of on the same plane. This car may not be as fun as the S4, but it probably won't give you as much heartbreak. You want to talk about some negatives? Look at this interior. This interior has seen better days. A couple of tears in the leather. It looks rough for 56,000 miles. I got to tell you.
I didn't know it was
I,
that low. I would have guessed it was in the hundreds based on the interior. So, I, I mean, I think that it looks good. The interior is designed very well. This one's not that great just in terms of condition. And I'm very much a noted non-convertible guy. And
yes.
granted, I did pick the 600, but that is a hard top. I mean, I probably
Yeah.
would never have the top down, but I'm sure this is a
Do
great
you
driving car, though.
Do you think maybe the driver of this car who owned it for a long time was just a substantial person, and that's why that seat is so
How many miles are on
demolished?
this car?
56.
Yeah, most likely. He was
Yeah.
driving it on Sunday to go get a coffee or something, and coffee
Coffee, a
and
couple of danishes,
yeah,
a pot
2 or 3
roast.
donuts, yeah, baker's dozen,
Yeah.
eat them on the drive
Yeah.
home, yeah.
So this car probably, if we want to talk about negatives or things to watch out for, this car probably has the same cooling issues as the 540, right? Like think like probably plastic parts that can break and go wrong and get
Yeah.
lodged somewhere where they shouldn't be.
Yeah, the interior on the 540 is pretty robust, at least in terms of buttons and switches and things like that. I would assume that this is the same. I haven't heard anybody who's owned one of these complain about buttons or what have you, but it's getting up there in age where things breaking is not so much a detriment to the build quality, it's more just it's old.
Yeah. Hey, I wanna address something. So you and I really we talked crap about the Mustang and the convertible Camaro at the beginning of the show. This car sort
Mhm.
of fits the same form factor as those cars. Why do we think this is better than a Camaro or a Mustang for this owner who needs a car to drive these long distances?
'Cause it's not an American car, it's actually built well.
Oh, well, you don't have to be rude. I mean,
That's
like,
just the
what
way
do
it
you mean
is,
it's
just the
okay,
way
but
it
what do you
is.
mean by it's built well? We're trying to educate people here, entertain them too with your stupidity, but we're trying to like so why do you believe this is built better than the Mustang?
This is peak BMW. They had plenty of money. They're developing this in late 90s for what was this launched in 2001, I believe, and this is an
Yeah, I think
'04,
so.
I think, right?
Mhm.
Plenty of money, prime BMW design, manufacturing, everything. The Mustang example, I don't know, I don't know which generation Mustang that someone mentioned in the comments, but depending if it's anywhere from call it 2005 to 2020. It's going to be a lot of plastic. There's a lot of
Mhm.
just
Right.
not high quality materials inside. The interiors never looked that good until the newer ones, like the 2018 Mustangs and newer. They're a much more substantial car, but I don't know if you're going to get one of those for that $35,000 budget. And if you are, it's very much a base. It's not a GT or a Coyote package or anything like that.
You mentioning budget again. I wonder if you and I erred on the side of caution, like, we're picking inexpensive cars here that this one's still got a day to go, no reserve. It's at $7,500. The guy's budget was 35. So I think you and we probably could have found newer cars, but I
Sure.
think there's really a reason that we picked early 2000s European cars because I
Oh,
think together we've probably owned a dozen of them,
Yeah.
but there's just something really special about them.
I'll tell you exactly why we both fell into this camp. We've owned these cars, so we know what to expect in terms of maintenance, but we also know what to expect in terms of reliability, durability, and just road presence and being a car that you can drive 16 hours without hesitation, right? The 540 definitely fits into that. I think the second
Yeah.
thing is we're guessing on auctions. So we have to make sure that the car at the best has to be less than 35, right? Even if it's a unicorn of an example, can't go over 35. And I think there's a gap between this generation of German car from, call it 99 to 2015. The earlier half of that, these cars are well below 20 consistently. The E63 could get up there, but it's not going to go past 20 if I had to guess,
Yeah.
which I will.
You
And
do have to test.
I will. All of these cars are on the much lower end, but there's when you get closer to 35, the cars get less reliable and to me also less desirable. Some of the cars I looked at as well were, a 996 Carrera. That's a great car. That's a great car to be in for a long drive. But even a Carrera, it's going to be really beat if it's 35 grand. And getting it under 35, it's going to, even if it's in good condition, it might have 150,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And I
I was
think when
gonna
you look
say
at
that
the like E92 BMWs or the 2010 to 2015 Mercedes, they're just not as exciting as an E63 AMG.
right. I was gonna say you summed it up nicely, but that was no summation. That was like a 6-minute
You
ramble.
asked my
But
answer. I'm explaining it.
yeah, but exactly. I agree 100% with everything you said, other than your shit talk about the S4. All right, man. So it's time now for us to put a number on this. We know this thing's got a day to go, no reserve. We are looking at some price data on the 330C. Classic says prices are dropping on this. You can pick up the average one for 14.5. We're gonna look at our car should be above average because of the low miles, but the interior is a little bit beat. I
Yeah.
said this thing comes in at 11.75, which
Yep.
is right under the average. I don't know if the mileage is going to give it the boost because I don't know if it's believable. Not that I'm not calling him a liar, but when I look at the interior, it's just is not living up to 56,000 miles. What did you say on this?
Slightly higher. I'm 11,950. I do think
Okay.
that the low miles is the draw here, obviously. A lot of people say like, oh, you want the car that has higher miles, so it's been driven and it's reliable, someone took care of it, what have you. This is the opposite with the low miles and the interior is just beat to hell.
Yep.
But I do think it could hit 11,950.
Okay. We're
Where
gonna
where are
find
you going to
out.
get another one with 50,000 miles on it?
All right, to close out the show, we play a game called Daily Flip Coffin. And this is where we decide which of these cars do we like so much that we would want to climb into them every day to go to work or wherever, maybe on a 16-hour road trip. And then we decide which of these cars do we not like enough to keep that we want to flip, get them out of the driveway. We don't want them anywhere near us. And then finally, we pick the car that we'd want to be buried in, the car that is just so magical. That's the car that you want to ride off into the sunset in. So let's just remind each other what are the cars we're talking about here? We've got the Volvo, the Audi, the two BMWs, the two Mercedes. I'm going to give you first pick, Evan. Which is the car that you want to daily?
I'm going to daily the 540 because I've done it and I know what to expect and I loved that car. I would gladly own another one.
What color was your car? This blue is magnificent, but what color was your car?
Yeah, the blue is great. It was black on black, which is also great.
Okay. And which of these cars do you want to flip?
I'm gonna flip the V70R.
Ooh, painful. Oh man,
Just not a
that
Volvo
hurts.
guy. I'm sorry.
Okay, is it because you don't have a family?
At this
Maybe
current
you have
stage,
parents.
yes, I have no space for, no need for a wagon.
Okay. And so the last one, which is the car that you think is the one here that you would never want to get rid of? In fact, you'd want to go to your grave in it.
It's probably the car that is most likely for their owners to die in. Also, it's the SL600.
Why are people dying in this? Because of the repair costs or because of their age?
No, they're retirees in Mar-a-Lago, and
They're,
they're just dying in the car at 90 years old. That's what they're driving.
they're,
And that's the way it goes. And
they're no longer in the hobby.
they're sitting in a V12 Mercedes, and they don't know what they're doing.
Okay. All right.
Bury me in it.
Let's stop. All right. So now we're gonna go to my picks. So for my daily, I want to daily that Volvo. It's strangely, I don't want to daily the S4, but this Volvo, I would daily this just because it fits my lifestyle. I
Sure.
love wagons. I I need that practicality. And out here in the suburbs where I live, I would blend right in.
Go pick it up. It's in Connecticut.
It is.
Can you
There's
doors-
somebody in my street who has a black one. and it sounds so good every time he drives by. We could be twins.
Yeah.
The car I'd want to flip is this one.
Why?
As much as I like the sound of it and the idea of it, I really like the idea of it. I just think it's too heavy a car for me to really enjoy because I think the cars that I like, my fun cars are small cars that are
Mhm.
light. I have the two Alphas. Before that, I had the 911. I had the E36 M3. I like small cars. And so this one just feels like a boat to me, a fast boat, but a boat nonetheless.
I respect that opinion. I do agree with you that it's the fast, heavy boat, but for 16 hours on the highway,
Yep.
I would like the fast, heavy boat.
Okay. All right. But we're not picking that right now. We're
No,
picking the
no. You know, if
Okay.
you were gonna if you're gonna mimic the journey of the Titanic, do you want to do it in a Boston Whaler? No, you want the substantial vehicle to get you there.
Evan, every time I think you're an idiot, you make it even worse. I don't want to mimic the journey of the Titanic in anything. The car that I would like to be my Titanic is like yours. I want the I want the SL 600
Yeah,
because it is a magnificent automobile, and I wouldn't even mind owning it at my young age as I am right now. I would drive this thing proudly.
absolutely.
All right. So that
Tough luck on the 330. That that convertible just got no love whatsoever.
Wow. Well, it's probably the most common out of all the cars that
Sure,
we
yeah.
looked at. So if you were trapped in a car for 16 hours, if you had to do these long road trips, we gave you plenty of options. And those cars are for sale right now. You can go to Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids and bid on these things. They're not going to break your wallet. They might break your heart in the future, but right now you can buy those cars in your $35,000 budget and have plenty of money left over. Evan, did we present decent options here or optimistic options?
I think we presented very decent options, but I think you made a really good point earlier, which was that cutting off at 2008, there's a lot of cars, both before 2000 to 2008 and from 2008 till now, that you can get for 35 grand that will fit this perfectly. I think that one of the things we missed a lot, and somewhat rightfully so, thinking of like the substantial road presence, but there's no mention of a Lexus LS. Like completely
Right.
skipped over Japanese cars. So, and for whatever the person wants. And granted, this was mentioning having fun driving around Daytona. There's no SUVs. You could get a
Oh,
Land Cruiser or a GX and just sit on the highway and drive that and be comfortable. But that's also not giving you the miles per mile that was referenced in the Reddit.
right. It's not going to give smiles, but also that guy said he owned a truck, so he
Right.
doesn't need another big
Yeah.
tank of a vehicle.
Yeah. I think we did very well in the middle ground where the people suggesting Miata sort of missed the boat. They just went
They
miles
missed
per
the
mile
boat.
Miata and just wrote that in. I think
Correct.
people suggesting American cars don't know what they're doing, and that's why they did that. And that's why we're here suggesting the E63s and the V70Rs of the world.
That's right. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Leave us some comments, give us a thumbs up. If you like the content that you're seeing, subscribe, tell a friend, make a prediction in the comments below. What else?
Go buy
As
a
and
car and do a 16-hour drive and come back to us and tell us how it went.
buy one of these cars
Yeah.
or don't buy one of these cars. Buy something else and tell us why that's a better choice than this. And as usual, speed safely and street park everything.